Yes, we are in the first canto, 9th chapter, text 34. Was 34 over, or we are supposed to take today?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Prabhuji, we have to do 39th verse today.
39th.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Correct. This, I think 38 we completed last time. This was my highlighted portions of there. So just to recap what we did last Sunday. Yeah, actually we had elaborate discussion on the glories of Bhīṣmadeva. So as far as I remember. And the Lord being absolute can accept service from his pure devotee even in the garb of an enemy. We had elaborate discussion about this, how Bhīṣmadeva is most misunderstood personality. And this is all basically Lord is uh, his own devotees is making an instrument and is showing to the world how even if a person be a caliber of Bhishmadev, but if he's on Adharma side, he cannot win. And Bhishmadev played the part of that particular role, which was negative role. Apparently, it was on the opposite side, and he knew that I will be misunderstood for so many. Uh, Actually, by the people to come, people actually everyone is going to misunderstand me. But still, he was ready to accept such kind of position if it is pleasing to the Lord. So that was our main topic of discussion, that how devotee does not worry about what is my interest. Lord, devotee worries about what is Krishna's interest. And if Lord wants me to do something, even if I don't like it, or even if I may be misunderstood or I may be criticized for that, but if Lord wants, devotee is ready to even take that particular role. So we even discussed about gopis, how they were ready to give the dust of their lotus feet to Krishna, because that is going to relieve them from all the headache. So this is how Bhishmadev uh, was the greatest devotee, and that's why he's counted amongst Mahajanas, because the kind of service attitude he has shown by being on the side of the opponents, that is really a thankless service. So now let us go to the next verse today, text 39. So let us recite this. Vijayaratha kutumba attatotre
Vijayartha Kutumba Atatotre
Drita Rashminita Shriye Kshaniye
Dhritahaya Rashminita Shri Ekshaniye
Bhagavati Ratirastu me Mamurshor
Bhagavati
Bhagavati
Ratirastu Me
Ratirastame
Mumurshor
Murshor
Yamiha Niriksha Hatagata Swarupam.
Yam Hiha
Yami
Niriksha Hata
Haniksha
Gata
Hatakata
Swarupam.
Swarupam.
Yes, Sujal Bro, translation.
Translation. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon Krishna's chariot driver, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, and who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we see that Vishmadev is asking for, at the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction to be Krishna and nothing else. I don't want to get, till now I was into so many worldly activities as a king, as a, some kind of person, as a, so here I had so many responsibilities. But now that I'm going to die, I don't want to remember all those things while dying. I just want to keep my complete attraction towards Sri Krishna. So that is the prayer of Bhishmadev. And I concentrate my mind upon Arjuna's chariot driver. So who is that chariot driver? Is Krishna. Basically, Lord is not even worried that he is called as driver. Yes, Lord is ready to become a chariot driver, Partha Sarthi, for his devotee. So who stood with a whip in his right hand and bridle rope in his left. So he's taking because he has to drive those horses. So in one hand he has the rope, other hand he has the whip to drive away the horses and take them ahead. And he's very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. So it is said that, there is one pastime when, even though Krishna is driving, he is not only just as a driver, but he's also saying that if enemy is attacking, then he has to be careful. So then what happened in one particular place when Krishna was driving the chariot, suddenly Krishna made a kind of, what is it? Krishna made the chariot little down and then again he lifted. So it gave some jerk to Arjuna who was sitting behind, and suddenly his crown it fell down. And then he says, and Arjuna told to Krishna, "Hey Krishna, what is this? You drive properly. It seems that you gave me such a jerk that my crown fell down." So then Krishna says, "Oi, it's not just because of jerk. Your head was supposed to be cut because of that arrow, and because of me keeping the chariot down, that arrow actually hit your crown, and that's why you are survived." Yeah, so that is so Lord was making sure that Arjuna should be protected. Yeah, so the complete protection was given. And Arjuna was thinking my crown is gone because of the jerk, but actually it was the arrow which was supposed to shoot Arjuna, but Krishna saved him. So that is how the Krishna is not just some kind of driver, but he is actually a supreme Lord, and he is protecting Arjuna, his own devotee, in all the ways. So those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death. So whoever saw this form of the Lord in particular in the Kurukshetra, they all attained their original form. Original form is, so here you see here one, many people say, no, what is our original form? Who knows? Maybe we didn't had any original form. A lot of discussion goes on. You can see here, Bhīṣmadeva is clearly telling, those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original form after death. That means their original form, whatever was there in the spiritual world, they attend to that after death. So those who saw Krishna in that original, this particular form, or maybe we can say those who recognized the Lord as he is, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all of them went and they got their own Swarupa in the spiritual world. Original form they got it. So that means all of us were in spiritual world and then we have come here. Now we are counting our days. As soon as we see the same Lord in every day, in our memory, remembrance, in our chanting of the holy names, and in all of our activities, then at the time of death, we will also attain our original form. Okay, let us go to the purport. Yes, Shivam Krishna, purport.
Yes, Prabhuji. A pure devotee of the Lord constantly sees the presence of the Lord within himself. Presence of the Lord within himself because of being transcendently related by loving service. Such a pure devotee cannot forget the Lord for a moment. This is called trance. The mystic yogi tries to concentrate upon super soul by restraining the senses from all other engagements, and thus he ultimately attains samadhi. A devotee more easily attains samadhi or trance by constantly remembering the Lord's personal feature along with his holy name, fame, pastimes, etc. Therefore, the concentration of the mystic yogi and that of the devotee are not on the same level. The concentration of the mystic yogi is mechanical, whereas that of the pure devotee is natural in pure love and spontaneous affection. Bhīṣmadeva was a pure devotee and a military marshal. He constantly remembered that the battlefield feature of the Lord as Partha Sarathi, the chariot driver of Arjuna. Therefore, the Lord's pastimes as Partha Sarathi is also eternal. The pastimes of the Lord, beginning from his birth at the prison house of the Kamsa up to the Maushala Leela at the end, all move one after another in all the universes, just as a clock and moves from one point to another. And in such pastimes, his associates like the Pandavas and Bhishma are constant eternal companions. So Bhishmadeva never forget the beautiful feature of the Lord as Parthasarathi, which even Arjuna could not see. Arjuna was behind the beautiful Parthasarathi, while Bhīṣmadeva was just in front of the Lord. As far as the military feature of the Lord is concerned, Bhīṣmadeva observed this with more relish than Arjuna.
Yeah. So here we see the first statement. A pure devotee of the Lord constantly sees the presence of Lord within himself because of being transcendentally related by loving service. So the Lord is constantly, the pure devotee is constantly seeing the presence of Lord within himself because of him. Within himself means because Lord is there situated in our heart as Paramatma. So for pure devotee, actually it is said that Lord is revealing all the whatever like he doesn't get like confusion or something. Whatever he is thinking, immediately Lord will guide him internally. So because currently our heart is not purified, so we are listening to so many different voices coming from within. But as soon as the heart becomes completely purified, you can hear the message of the Lord as it is, and Lord guides us through within. That's how by rendering loving service and being transcendently related to the Lord, one can see the presence of the Lord everywhere. And then it is mentioned, a devotee more easily attains samadhi than a so-called yogi. The yogi, for him, the mechanical meditation. He is just doing some silent meditation or just thinking something. Actually, that is more tough than just thinking about the form of the Lord. Just go in front of and you see the form of the Lord. You get attracted to his various limbs of the body and personal features of the Lord, his holy name, fame, pastimes. So it becomes more easy. Like somebody tells me about the pastime of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is playing in the Vrindavan. So that is more attractive. Very easily you can relate and understand the pastime. But just imagining something impersonal or something, it becomes very tough. So mystic yogi is a mechanical process, whereas for devotee, it becomes very easily attained. And yeah, correct. So the pastimes of the Lord from his birth in the prison to the martial Leela, just as the clock hand moves from one point to another. So these pastimes keep happening, basically. And one pastime, then another, it keeps happening like that. And in such pastimes, his associates like Pandavas, Bhishmas are constant eternal companions. Whether Krishna comes as Ram or he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or whichever incarnation. So especially in this Ram Lila and in Chaitanya Lila, we can see such kind of things coming. Of course, Narsimha and maybe Varahadev, they don't have that kind of associates. He comes as more as he just alone comes, destroys everyone and goes. Yeah, but in we can see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So many all the devotees come in different. Their associates are eternal companions, and of course, even in the spiritual world, they are always there. In that way, they are always eternal companions of the Lord. Hmm. Yeah. So here, one more point is mentioned that Bhishmadeva observed this, or he was relishing the form of the Lord with much more relish than even Arjuna. So can anyone tell how Bhishmadev was able to relish the particular form more than Arjuna also? Like
Hare
Arjuna,
Krishna
Bhishmadev is
Prabhuji.
now, yes?
Yes, it was only because he was towards the front fighting, and Arjuna was actually on the back seat. So he could not see the front angle, whereas Bhishmadev could see the
Yeah.
front angle, and that's how he could relish the
Hmm.
form of the Lord more.
Exactly. Basically, Arjuna, because Krishna was driving the chariot, Arjuna is sitting behind and he is able to observe Krishna only from only the backside is visible to Arjuna. Whereas Bhishmadev, because he is on the opposite side, he is able to see Krishna's entire, the front, his entire, from the lotus feet to the lotus face, everything is able to take darshan nicely. Yeah, sometimes it so happened also once, I think, where we were. I think some Rath Yatra or something we were there, I think. Mostly Rath Yatra only. We will not, because everybody wants to take darshan from the beginning, like from the front, so that you can see complete darshan of the Lord. But what happened is there was a lot of crowd and we were trying to go from the back side. Even though Lord was visible, but still there is always more eagerness that we want to see from the front. His face, his wonderful uh, eyes, and his lotus face, and the different dressing which is done. We wanted to see that. So, but because of the crowd, we couldn't go. So maybe this is very relatable in that way. So it is said that Bhīṣmadeva, he was able to relish the form of the Lord in much more relishing way than even Arjuna also. Arjuna could see only the some part, like he could only see Krishna is doing something, but he couldn't see the actual beauty of the Lord from the front. So maybe that is one of the reason Bhishmadev chose to go on the opposite party so that he can get complete darshan of the Lord. Sometimes pujaris who are worshipping the deities in the temple, more than them, the audience may be able to see the complete beauty of the Lord because they are exactly in front of the Lord from the main altar. They can see the Lord completely. But those who are pujaris, sometimes they, sometimes we have to, what we say, worship from one particular side. Of course, we are able to see, but then you can't see the all the three deities together. Like you may be able to see only Gaur Nita. Radha Madan Mohan will be somewhere hidden with some pillars will be there in between. You can't see like that. But when you go in front, it is more nicely, beautifully visible the Lord. So that's how we see that Bhishmadev was relishing the beauty of the Lord even with much more relish than Arjuna. Okay. Prabhu, could you read? Okay. Vijit Prabhu, can you read?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji. All the soldiers and other persons on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original spiritual forms after their death because by the causeless mercy of the Lord they were able to see him face to face on that occasion. The conditioned souls rotating in the evolutionary circles from the aquatics up to the form of Brahma are all in the form of Maya, or the form obtained by one's own actions and awarded by material nature. The material forms of the conditioned souls are all foreign dresses, and when the conditioned soul becomes liberated from the clutches of the material energy, he attains his original spiritual form, like the Lord's. The impersonalist wants to attain the impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord, but that is not all congenial to the living sparks, parts and parcels of the Lord. Therefore, the impersonalists again fall down and get material forms, which are all false to the spirit soul. A spiritual form like the Lord's, either two-handed or four-handed, is attained by the devotees of the Lord, either in the Vaikunthas or in the Goloka planet, according to the original nature of the soul. This form, which is 100% spiritual, is the Swarupa of the living being, and all the living beings who participated on the battlefield of Kurukshetra on both sides attained their Swarupa, as confirmed by Bhīṣmadeva. So Lord Sri Krishna was not merciful only to the Pandavas, he was also merciful to the other parties because all of them attained the same result. Bhishmadeva wanted the same facility also, and that was his prayer to the Lord, although his position as an associate of the Lord is assured in all circumstances. The conclusion is that whoever dies looking on the personality of Godhead, within or without, attains his Swarupa, which is the highest perfection of life.
Yeah. So anyone knows? So here it is told about how the material forms of the conditioned soul are like foreign dresses. Yeah. So this is not our original dress. Like regularly you wear one dress, suddenly you change your dress, you don't feel comfortable. Yeah. So we are foreign dress we wear, we don't feel comfortable. When the conditioned soul becomes liberated, then he attains spiritual form that is like the Lord's. Yeah. So it is said that spiritual form like the Lord, either two-handed or four-handed, is attained by the devotees in Vaikuntha or Golok planet. Yeah, so that means even devotees can get four-handed form also. Yeah, so devotees can get two-handed form or four-handed form. According to their Swarupa, they will get different forms. One may say, how is it? How can I get the same form as Lord? Yeah. So there are 5 types of liberation. Anyone knows what are the 5 types of liberations that a living entity gets?
Yeah, Samipya, Sarishti, Sarupya, and Sayujya. I think.
Yeah. What is the first one?
Salokya. I
Salokya.
don't know the
Okay.
order.
Yeah. So Salokya. No, there is no order. Any mukti, any liberation one can get according to his thing. So Salokya. So what is the meaning of Salokya?
Living in the same planet, you know.
Yeah, residing in the same planet as Lord. So Salokya, you can see the name also suggests some is same and Lokya means loka, same loka, same planet. So the same planet as the Lord, then you become so that is how the you remain in the same planet as the Lord. So that is also a big thing, like it's like you perform bhakti and you get to stay in the like one person is a multi millionaire or something. Yeah, so servant, suppose he does so much nice service that he also gets one of the room in the same house. Yeah, that is what his goal of his life is to get such kind of home. So if he gets entry into his home and he stays with, that is like perfection. So instead of making our homes in this material world, making small houses which are temporary and after some time it will go away, better we go for that particular loka. You enter and then you are one of those like you are in the same planet as Lord. Yeah, so that means you also get same opulences also as Lord because there is no such kind of restriction will be there. Okay, this is only for Lord. Nobody else can touch it or something. Salokya means you will get the same opportunity as the Lord is there. Yeah, so that kind of liberation. And the second one is
Samipya.
Samipya. So what is the meaning of Samipya?
Um, Staying close to the Lord.
Yeah,
Staying close to the Lord. Living with.
close to the Lord. Anything else? More better answer.
Closer associate of the Lord.
Yeah, associate of the Lord. Basically, he becomes a very close associate or personal associate of the Lord. So one thing is staying in the same planet. Another thing is becoming a personal associate and always be there with the Lord. So like you see sometimes like Srila Prabhupada also, some devotees used to always travel with Prabhupada, like a secretary or some GBCs or someone, they will always travel with Prabhupada. And some devotees where they were serving under Prabhupada, maybe in the same temple, but they will build into different services. So like that Samipya is in the close proximation of the Lord. Same, you also become one of the eternal, one of the associate of the Lord. So that is Samipya. And what is the third one? Third mukti.
Sayujya.
Sayujya. What is the meaning of Sayujya?
Impersonal liberation.
Impersonal liberation.
Yeah.
Impersonal liberation.
Liberation.
Yeah. Basically, impersonal liberation, like, merging into the impersonal Brahmajyoti. So that is called as Sayujya. Okay. So this is about Sayujya. That means you merge into the impersonal Brahman. So this is also called as one of the liberation. Okay. Then fourth one.
Sarishti.
Sashi, I want others also to participate. Only Pranab Prabhu is answering all the questions. What about others? What is the fourth one?
Having an appearance like a Lord, so the opulence Lord enjoy.
Having?
Opulence, the
Yeah,
opulence of Lord.
Sarshti, that is. Having the same opulence or possessing divine opulence equal to the Lord. So you also have the same opulences as the Lord. Like Lord is going in a chariot, you also have the similar chariot. Not that Lord is having some special chariot and other devotees have some the lower levels chariot or something. He will have same opulence. So so see, even being a devotee of the Lord, one can enjoy. Not that you have to become Lord, then only you can enjoy. Yeah, even being devotee, you can get the same opulences, you get the same thing, almost as a form also same only. So of course, this happens generally in Vaikuntha Loka. Prabhupada is writing Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan, but mainly this liberations which are mentioned because in the Vaikuntha Loka, you can see even the four-handed form. Lord is having four hands, and the devotees can also have four hands. Yeah, so or the Lord is having some opulences, you can also have the opulences. Or he's staying in a Loka, you also get the same planet like that. And what is the last one? Yeah, Salukya, Sarshti, Samipya, Sayujya, last one.
Sarupya, same form as the Lord.
Yeah, correct. Sarupya, having the same form of the Lord. So Lord is having the form, you also get the same form. So Lord is four-handed, you also become four-handed. So externally, you may not be able to. Even Uddhava, it is said Uddhava was looking exactly similar to Krishna. Same, almost form was completely same. But still, the devotees could understand he is Uddhava and he is Krishna. Yeah, so that thing was there. Uddhava was looking exactly like Krishna. Yeah, so these are the five types of liberation. So now you can tell me, out of this five liberation, which liberation devotees does not prefer and which liberations devotee prefer.
Out of
Devotee
these
would
two,
Sahitya
prefer.
we prefer
devotees
none
don't
of these. Devotees
prefer.
for none of these.
They consider it as hell.
Yeah, which one you said? I couldn't. Three, four devotees spoke.
Sayujya Mukti.
Sayujya,
Devotees
yeah,
considered as
exactly.
hell.
Yeah, so Sayujya Mukti, the devotees does not prefer Sayujya Mukti. And what is the reason for that? Why does devotees don't
Because
prefer
there is no
Sayujya
opportunity
Mukti?
for service.
Yeah.
Because there is no opportunity for service.
Okay, there is no opportunity for service. Any other reason? Yes, Kuldeep Pro, Dhruv Pro, Kaustubh Pro.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Yes,
We
Satyam.
can
In
fall down
Nectar
again
of
soon.
Devotion, bro.
Chapter first, in Letter of Devotion, chapter first, Prabhupada mentioned that a pure devotee of Lord wants none of these. He only wants eternal service of the Lord. Pure devotee wants none any type of liberation he didn't want. As for any type of liberation,
Hmm. What is the reason you said?
he only wants eternal service of the Lord. He just wants to serve
Okay,
the
he
Lord.
only
He
wants
didn't want any
eternal
type of
service.
liberation.
Okay, but one more reason I am looking for.
They don't want to
There is,
merge with the Lord.
He doesn't want to merge with the Lord. Okay. Anything else?
there is a
Actually,
chance of fall down.
He doesn't want to compete.
Vipul. No.
He doesn't want to compete or enjoy the same opulences as Lord. Rather, just wants to serve the Lord in loving devotional
Oh,
service.
but same opulences are coming in Sarshti also. Sarshti is actually Sarshti. One devotee can get Sarshti, and devotee even aspire for that. Aspire means they may get that particular thing. But Sayujya we are talking about, which devotee? Sorry, we are already. So we are talking about Sayujya. Why devotees don't prefer?
Prabhuji, after getting the
You'll have a high chance of fall down, Prabhuji.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Vipul Pro, Kaustubh Pro, Vijit Pro also told. So there are chances of fall down from Sayujya Mukti. All other muktis are permanent. You go to the abode of the Lord, you get opulences as the Lord, you become an associate of the Lord, or you get the same form of the Lord, and that is eternal. Then you don't come back to this world. But Sayujya Mukti is merging in the impersonal Brahmajyoti. So that merging cannot happen. So even though they go, it is like just not even going to the spiritual world. It is only going till the boundary and then thinking that you have merged, but actually you cannot merge because living entity, the spirit soul cannot just merge into something. Then he has the individuality. And that's how after some time again it will fall down to the back to the material world. So it is a very dangerous position. Yeah, it's like some you have to climb on some aeroplane. You need to go board the plane. So best is either you be best is you directly go inside before whatever that thing door gets closed or something. Otherwise, if somebody is hanging from the aeroplane goes everywhere and you are hanging, thinking that I am in a safe position. But it's not safe position because anytime we can fall down. Whereas once you enter inside, then there is no more coming back, especially while traveling like that. So we see that devotees don't aspire for Sayujya Mukti. They only aspire for the other four muktis, like that. Okay, so let us go to the next verse. Lalita Gati Vilasa Balguhasa
Lalita Gati Vilasa Valguhasa
Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpitoru Mana
Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpitorumanaha
Kritamano Kritavratya Unmadandha
Kritamanukrityavatya
Kritamanukritya
Unmadanda
Anmadanda
Prakriti Magan Kila Yasya Gopa Vadvaha.
Prakriti
Prakriti
Magan
Magan
Kilayasya
Kilayasya
Gopavadvaha.
Gopavadaha.
Yes. Translation. Dhruv, can you read translation?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Let
Okay.
my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Rajdham, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the rasa dance.
Yeah. So let me fix my mind on Lord Krishna, whose motions, that means his movement and his smile of love, attracted the damsels of Rajadham, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristics of movement of the Lord after his disappearance from the rasa dance. So when the Lord disappeared, they started imitating the movements of the Lord. Yeah, so that is how. Let me fix my mind on that Supreme Lord Krishna. Okay, Kuldeep Proof, purport. Okay, Naman Proof.
By intense ecstasy in loving service, the damsels of Rajabhumi attained qualitative oneness with the Lord by dancing with him on an equal
Oh,
level.
very low sound is coming.
By intense ecstasy in loving service, the damsels of Vrajabhumi attained qualitative oneness with the Lord by dancing with him on an equal level, embracing him in nuptial love, smiling at him in joke, and looking at him with a loving attitude. The relation of Lord with Arjuna is undoubtedly praiseworthy for devotees like Bhīṣmadeva, but the relation of the gopis with the Lord is still more praiseworthy because of their still more purified loving service. By the grace of the Lord, Arjuna was fortunate enough to have the fraternal service of the Lord as chariot driver, but the Lord did not award Arjuna with equal strength. The gopis, however, practically became one with the Lord by attainment of equal footing with the Lord. Bhishma's aspiration to remember the gopis is a prayer to have their mercy also at the last stage of his life. The Lord is satisfied more when his pure devotees are glorified. And therefore, Bhishmadev has not only glorified the acts of Arjuna, his immediate object of attraction, but has also remembered the gopis who were endowed with unrivaled opportunities for rendering loving service to the Lord. The gopis the gopis
Yeah.
the gopis equality with the Lord should never be misunderstood to be like the Sayujya liberation of the impersonalist. The equality is one of the perfect ecstasy, where the differential conception is completely eradicated for the interests of the lover and the beloved become identical.
Yeah. So here it is said, by the intense ecstasy in loving service, the damsels of Brajabhumi attained qualitative oneness with the Lord by dancing with him on an equal level, embracing him, smiling, joking, looking at him. Yeah, so almost like equal. So it is in the translation, it is said they were imitating the Lord. So basically, because the Lord is so much closely associated with them, so he almost gave his own strength to them. Like Krishna is dancing, they are also dancing. Or almost by dancing with him, they came on the equal level. Yeah, so that means even Krishna has given his strength also to the gopis Whereas Prabhupada is saying, Lord did not award Arjuna with equal strength. Even though he was in that particular Sakhya Rasa with the Lord, fraternal service of the Lord as chariot driver, but it was not on the equal level. But gopis, however, practically became one with the Lord by attainment of equal footing with the Lord. Means what we can say. Uh, uh, by actually, because Lord, when he associates so closely with the devotee, he actually giving himself completely. So that means, so it includes his all strength, his entire existence is surrendering to the devotee. So gopis actually became like that. They almost became equal to the Lord by attainment of such equal footing with the Lord. Whereas Arjuna, of course, Arjuna is also very close devotee of the Lord. But then if you see, Krishna, when he is in Vrindavan, he's always remembering the Vrindavan Vasis and especially gopis, and he's taking names of various gopis also. So their level of, that's why Madhurya Ras comes higher than even Sakhya Ras also. So Arjuna was on the Sakhya Ras, but above that is Vatsalya Ras, above that is Madhurya Ras. So Madhurya Ras is considered to be the highest, and maybe gopis are also Madhurya Ras, and whoever is in Madhurya Ras, they are into like almost they get the same strength as Lord because they are getting such kind of position, so intimate association of the Lord. So this is how we see that if somebody wants to become one with the Lord, then this is how one actually approaches, not through the merging with the Lord or something. Sahyajya Mukti. And Prabhupada is clarifying also that Gopi's equality with the Lord is should not be misunderstood as Sahyajya or liberation of with the like that. Their equality was on the which terms? In the first line, Prabhupada is saying they attained that particular
Quality.
equality uh, with the Lord in which
Qualitative.
term, like, yes.
Quality only. Qualitative.
Qualitatively oneness. So basically, by quality they became one with the Lord, but quantitatively Lord is always great. That cannot be checked like that. So quantitatively Lord is great, but qualitatively even a devotee can. So of course, quality wise Sachitananda, that is same only, but even in terms of there are more qualities also comes which defines, like Supreme Lord Krishna is having all the 64 qualities and different things, and as the devotees are purer and purer, they have different number of qualities come into this community. So in this way, we see that maybe once I can get some more clarification about this from Rajesham Bro, some more about qualitatively oneness. I can only understand according to me that the qualitative oneness, because of so much intimate association with the Lord, the gopis also came on the same level. Yeah, and especially Madhurya Rasa is the highest. So they got the equal strength. But Arjuna and all, they didn't had that kind of relationship with the Lord. So he was more in the Sakhya platform. So as a friend, the Madhurya Rasa is even more intimate, that we can see. Okay. Okay, let us take one more verse. 15 minutes are still there. Munigana Nripa Varya Sankulentaha
Answer spring.
Sadasi Yudhishthir Rajasuya Esham
Sadasi Vishtirajasuya Esha
Arhanam Upapeda Ikshaniyo
Arahanam Upaveda Ikshaniyo
Mama Drishi Gochara Esha Aviratma.
Mama Drishigochara Esha Aviratma.
I have to say exactly what is the meter of these verses. Some different meter is there for this. Okay, so we have, yes, Abhishek Proof, translation.
Prabhuji, screen is not shared there.
Oh, it's not shared, no? Oh, that's why
Yes,
devotees
Prabhuji.
couldn't reflect. Okay. Yes, Abhishek Proof, translation.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. At the Rajasuya Yagna sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, There was the greatest assembly of all the elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in the great assembly of Lord Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remember the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord.
Yeah. So Rajasuya Yagya was performed by Yudhishthir, and everyone has come there. And in that great assembly, Lord Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. And this happened during my presence. So Bhīṣmadeva is basically recollecting all the different his form of the Lord, different activities that he did, and in his prayer he is. So basically, what happens and when one is about to die, generally different remembrance will come. Yeah, like I already shared once. I don't know how many of you were there. So there was one boy who actually went. He was about to uh, basically went to. He was a devotee. He was staying in our youth center like that. So the entire many years back, this I heard when I was in voice. So so this devotee, along with a group of devotees, they had gone for bathing in one river. So they went. All of them took bath and came. But one boy, he was very much adamant. He wanted more time to take bath and all. He was there for some more time, and that's how he was there. Then what happened is suddenly, when all devotees were putting on the clothes and all on the side of the river, bank of the river, this person somehow he slipped off and he was going. He was getting drowned in the river. He actually went deeper, and then he shouted at devotees, but somehow devotees all were engaged. They couldn't see at him. And then he was getting drowned. The water was going. Slowly, slowly, he went inside. And by that time only, there was one boatman who was coming from the other side. And he saw that this boy is actually getting drowned. So immediately he went to help. And by the time devotees also saw that something has happened, then this boatman actually lifted this boy, put him on his boat, and brought him out. And then somehow they pushed him, the water, everything came out and all. And initially, everybody thought he's dead. But actually, then he came to life. And then he was completely in a very traumatic situation. And then the devotees took him to the center. And almost 3 days, he didn't even speak to anyone. He was completely in trauma because he was just near death experience. Just he was about to die, and somebody had just brought him from death back to life. So then devotees, of course, after 2 3 days, then he became well. He got recovered, started doing the normal things. Then the devotees asked him, "Hey, see, you were almost about to drown. You almost went down, and if the boatman doesn't come, you would have died also." So you tell. So they were asking in a personal forum that what were the thoughts that you remembered, because now it was almost a death time for you, and you actually went into death. So what were the final thoughts that came in your mind? So please tell us. And this boy, he started telling. He said actually when he drowned, he said I hardly remembered Krishna. He didn't remember only. He said he started remembering different things. All the entire life, what all things, different things happened at different intervals of time. Those things started coming in his mind. And the final thing that came in front of him was there was one lady with a particular advertisement of some particular advertisement. So that photo was the last one. After that, he doesn't remember anything. Yeah. So this is how. This was of course he was practicing from some few years. But the thing is, sometimes we don't take Krishna consciousness very seriously. We think that, oh, anyway, time is there. Death will come anytime. Time is there. Why should I be so worried about it now? Yeah, but if such kind of death comes, then our advancement will be tested. That what is my regular remembrance? Yeah, so what happens in different times of the in different periods? There are certain things which goes deep in our mind. The impression becomes very deep in our mind, in our heart, and those things are the one which we remember, which we remember some particular time that, oh, this thing. So even at the time of death, only those deep impressions which you have gone through, those will come. And that's why we have to be very careful that we our mind should always be focused on the Supreme Lord, his activities, his pastimes. So we have to do more and more efforts That's why the days like Ekadashi we chant extra rounds, because this is very important. Otherwise, the days go, months go. Sometimes even we chant and we don't remember Krishna. And what to speak of remembering Krishna at the time of death? Yeah, so this is very, very important. So I just felt like sharing this because here, what is happening with Bhishmadev? Uh, he is actually remembering all the, because all these pastimes of the Lord or the form of the Lord or the when he was worshipped by everyone as the most exalted personality. So these thoughts went so deep in his mind that at the time of death, now he is praying and he's remembering all those things. I want to see that Lord who was coming with me with a chariot. I want to see that Lord who was actually on the, he was driving the horses. I want to see that Lord who was worshipped by everyone. I want to see the Lord who is the protector of his devotees and he is always there with them. Yeah, the gopis, in relation to gopis, also he started glorifying. So these are the things which throughout his life he was thinking about. And now at the time of that, he is able to just remember and meditate on that. So that this also shows that how Bhishmadev is a pure devotee from the beginning. So he was always in the remembrance of Lord was always there with him. And now death comes, and it was very easy for him to remember all these incidences. Yeah. Okay, purport. Vipul Prabhu, you can read purport.
After gaining victory in the Battle of Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthir, the emperor of the world, performed the Rajasuya sacrificial ceremony. The emperor in those days, upon his ascendance to the throne, would send a challenge horse all over the world to declare his supremacy, and any ruling prince or king was at liberty to accept the challenge and express his tacit willingness either to obey or to disobey the supremacy of the particular emperor. One who accepted the challenge had to fight with the emperor and establish his own supremacy by victory. The defeated king would have to sacrifice his life, making a place for another king or ruler. So Maharaj Yudhishthir also dispatched such challenging horses all over the world, and every ruling prince and king all over the world accepted Maharaj Yudhishthir's leadership as the emperor of the world. After this, all rulers of the world under the regime of Maharaj Yudhishthir were invited to participate in the great sacrificial ceremony of Rajasuya. Such performances required hundreds of millions of dollars, and it was not an easy job for a petty king. Such a sacrificial ceremony, being too expensive and also difficult to perform under present circumstances, is now impossible in this age of Kali, nor can anyone secure the required expert priesthood to take charge of the ceremony.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is explaining the entire ceremony, how it happens, how the kings take the different challenges and express their willingness to obey or disobey the supremacy of the emperor and the king. Those things are all mentioned here. Very nice. But nowadays, all these things are missing. No, there is no expert priest who will take charge of this. Okay, next paragraph. Satyam Prabhu.
So after being invited, all the kings and the great learned sages of the world assembled in the capital of Maharaj Yudhishthira. The learned society, including the great philosophers, religionists, physicians, scientists, and the great sages, was invited. That is to say, the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas were the topmost leading men in the society, and they were all invited to participate in the assembly. The Vaishyas and the Sudras are the important elements in the society, and they are not mentioned herein. Due to the change in the social activities in the modern age, the importance of men has also changed in terms of occupational positions. So, in the great assembly of Lord Sri Krishna was the Shinazor, cynosure of neighboring eyes. Everyone wanted to see Lord Krishna, and everyone wanted to pay his humble respect to the Lord. Bhīṣmadeva remembered all this was the glad that his worshipable Lord, the personality of the Godhead, was present before him in the actual formal presence. So, to meditate on the Supreme Lord is to meditate on the activities, forms, pastimes, name, and fame of the Lord. That is easier than what is imagined as meditation on the impersonal features of the Supreme. In the Bhagavad Gita 12.5, it is clearly stated that to meditate upon the impersonal feature of the Supreme is very difficult. It is practically no meditation or simply a waste of time because very seldom is the desired result obtained. The devotees, however, meditate upon the Lord's actual form and pastime, and therefore the Lord is easily approachable by the devotees. This is also stated in Bhagavad Gita 12.9. The Lord is non-different from his transcendental activities. It is indicated also in a shloka that the Lord Krishna, while actually present before human society, especially in the connection with the battle of Kurukshetra, was accepted as the greatest personality of the time. Although he might not have been recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the propaganda that a very great man worshipped as a god after his death is misleading because a man after his death cannot be made into God, nor can the personality of Godhead be a human being. Even when he is personally present, both ideas are misconceptions. The idea is anthropomorphism cannot be applicable in the case of the Lord Krishna.
Yeah. So almost we read 2 paragraphs. So yeah. So here Prabhupada is telling about all the Brahmana, Kshatriyas. They were the topmost leading men in society, and all of them were invited to participate in this assembly, in these kings and emperors. And Vaishya Shudras were unimportant, and that's why they are not mentioned. So only the kings, Brahmanas, they used to come. So that's why it is even in the translation, Bhīṣmadeva is saying that assembly of all elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in that great assembly, Lord Krishna was worshipped by everyone. So elite men in the world. So Shudras and Vaishyas are not considered only in that. Yeah. So that Rajasuya Yajna happened, and all of them participated. And Lord Krishna was the cynosure of neighboring eyes. That means everybody was looking at him. Everybody wanted to pay his respects to him. Like sometimes there is a chief guest, no? Anybody who comes for the ceremony, everybody is looking that I want to come in the eyes of the chief guest, or I want to meet him, personally greet him. So Lord Krishna was the Supreme Lord, and everybody wanted to have such kind of, and they were very fortunate to see the Lord personally. And here Bhishmadev is telling that I want to meditate on that form of the Lord, which was being adored by everyone. Everybody was so much adoring. I want to see that form of the Lord, meditate on that form, and that's how I want to leave this world. And at the end, Prabhupada is telling that again, same thing, that impersonal, you can't actually think. Even this in Muslim religion or in Christian religion, they don't know any form of the Lord. They know, okay, the Supreme Lord is there, He's the controller, He's the maintainer, but they don't have any information about how He looks, what are His pastime, how He reciprocates with His devotees. So these are the confidential knowledge. This is given only in when we see the discussion of Lord Krishna. Yeah, so whereas in Quran and other places, they only say Lord is Almighty, Lord is this, Lord is that. Only the greatness of the Lord is being mentioned, but there is no mention of sweetness of the Lord. How the Lord is so Bhakta Vatsal, how he is ready to sacrifice the things for his devotee, how he becomes chariot driver for his devotee. So these are and the different rasas, these things are not mentioned. And that's why that particular religion, it becomes incomplete. It's not a complete knowledge of the Sanatana Dharma that is not given. And that's why it becomes very difficult for them to just keep meditating. So if when we know the activities of the Lord, the form of the Lord, the name of the Lord, then it becomes even more personal. Yeah. That's what we discussed today. So today we covered almost 3 verses. First verse was about uh, first verse 39. It was about let me concentrate my mind on Arjuna's chariot driver, yeah, Krishna, and how pure devotee always want to see. Basically, they see Krishna everywhere. Yeah, so that is very important, and that one we discussed. Uh, and whoever sees the Lord face to face, they will not again get this form, but they will attend to the uh, form in the spiritual world. And then we also discussed about the 5 types of liberation. Elaborately, we discussed about that and how one can get into different liberation. And Sayujya Mukti is the one the devotees don't want. And in the next verse, we discussed about how Bhishmadev glorifies the Lord in relation to the gopis. Because Prabhupada is saying that if devotees are glorified, pure devotees are glorified, then Lord is even more happy. And also Prabhupada is telling the position of gopis is how it is higher than Arjuna also. Because gopis are imitating Krishna, but that is actually, that means they get almost same strength as Krishna, whereas Arjuna was not given that kind of award. In the last verse that we discussed, it was about the Rajasuya Yajna performed by Yudhishthir, and everyone adores and worships Lord Krishna. By everyone worships Lord Krishna. So Bhīṣmadeva says that let my remembrance be on this particular form. Yeah, so like that, remember, Bhīṣmadeva is remembering each and every incidences, and he is meditating on those instructions. So if we also want to go back to Godhead, then we have to increase our these deep impressions about the Lord. That's why we celebrate festivals. Like Ram Navami was there recently. Then we celebrate Gaur Purnima. So even if we die, we will get those kind of impressions. Oh, I had celebrated Ram Navami. I decorated the Lord like this. Yeah, I did this particular thing. So many people attended. Everybody was chanting. Or I visited Vrindavan Dham or Mayapur Dham. So those impressions should become more. Currently, we have material impressions more than spiritual impressions. We are having some impressions of some particular sense gratification or some enjoyment, and those are more deep rooted. So we have to remove those roots, and we have to fill it with spiritual impressions. Of course, spiritual impressions also we have, like first time when you entered the dham, that kind of feeling you get, or first time when you went to a dham and you chanted very, very attentively. I still remember when we went to Jagannath Puri in 2011, the every mantra I was so attentive to chant every mantra, each and every mantra so attentively. Or like that we completed 16 rounds also. And we used to chant even more number of rounds. Because first time when I went to Dham, one of our devotees told that in Dham 16 rounds is minimum. You can chant as many rounds as possible. That increased our faith in holy name so much that 16 was we used to chant as attentively as possible, and more than 16. Sometimes it will be go 30. Sometimes we used to compare also. Oh, he has completed this, he has completed. But we used to be trying to chant as attentively as possible. So such kind of some experiences you get. Or first time you went to some, or you heard some class from the spiritual master or something in the dham. Exactly, it was very. Sometimes we feel crying also by listening to the characters of devotees. So these are some of the impressions which goes very deep in our heart, and these are the things which should relish again and again. Yeah, so there are devotees who every day before sleeping they do parikrama of Govardhan or different places in Vrindavan. Parikrama means manasik parikrama. They'll remember all the places. Okay, this was there, that was there. So we can always remember these places, or we can keep some photos, and that remembrance should be there always. Yeah. Nowadays, people take our own photos are more mainly taken than the photos of the Lord. But when we have such kind of memories, of course, our photo can be there, but we should remember that particular memory more, visiting that place or something, more than any other things. Then at the time of death, also such remembrance can be there. Yeah, so very beautiful prayers of Bhishmadev, and this prayers will also help us to become more meditate on Krishna's form. Whenever we take darshan of the Lord, then it will help us in that way also. So let us pray to Bhishmadev. And today is also, of course, time is just over, but today is also the Vyas Puja celebration of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So I can see that following the Bhishmadev was on bed of arrows and he is giving knowledge. So I can see even Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, it is also, his situation is also like that, because the body is not supporting, he is not able to speak also. What to speak of? The half body is paralyzed, the stroke has come. Even Maharaj cannot just eat regular food and just it's very difficult for him, all the things. But still is going on for like this for so many years. It's like Vishmadev, even having so many arrows on the body, still giving the knowledge. So Maharaj is also like having so many difficulties in the body, but still his preaching Krishna consciousness has not stopped. He's with double, triple enthusiasm. It has always increased. The more and more it goes, he is very, very magnanimous, uh, keeping the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very magnanimous, very, very merciful, always giving himself completely to the devotees. So we pray at the lotus feet of His Holiness Jayaprada Goswami Maharaj that we also get His mercy, blessings, and we also follow in His footsteps. And what he has done, what kind of contribution to the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So, of course, so we can't get at least, but we can become a small instrument in his in Prabhupada missions. We can pray like that to Maharaj. Srila Jayaprada Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai,
Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you all
Krishna.
very much
Thank you
for
so much,
joining.
Prabhuji.
I
Thank
took
you.
a lot of
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you,
Thank you,
Krishna.
sir.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. My Lord, I didn't keep any time for doubts.
I have one doubt also. Prabhu.
Yeah, yes, sure, Vishnu.
Kaustav Prabhu might have asked earlier.
He is here only.
Okay. Prabhuji, Prabhuji, regarding one point like remembering Krishna always, Prabhu, I've heard once that unless and until one has like, fixed his mati in the lotus feet of devotee, I'm like spiritual master, like he can't remember, his mind will not be fixed on remembering Krishna constantly.
Hmm.
So I mean, like,
Correct.
how can we relate this to like today's? Like we are trying to remember Krishna also, and again, but unless until we don't have fixed staunch faith and like we don't, our mati is not fixed in lotus feet of spiritual master, we can't remember Krishna also.
Fixed in the lotus feet of spiritual master.
Unless and our mind is not fixed in lotus feet of spiritual master, we cannot remember Krishna constantly.
Hmm. Lotus feet of spiritual master means we should follow the instruction of the spiritual master. And the instruction of spiritual master is helps us to become more devoted to the Supreme Lord. That is how one's mati or his mind, his consciousness will be absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. So spiritual master will give us knowledge. That knowledge will help us to become closer to the Supreme Lord.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. No?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Yeah. So serving lotus feet of spiritual master means it is not that okay, I'm looking at the spiritual master's lotus feet, how will I remember Krishna? It's not like that. Looking at lotus feet of spiritual master means we should follow the instruction of spiritual master, and his instruction will only take us closer to Krishna. It will not take us somewhere other place. That's why we have to keep hearing from him, and that will take us more and more closer to the Lord, more and more closer to the remembrance of the Lord, different pastimes of the Lord. And that's how his that will also increase our faith on the holy name. Then we chant more attentively. He gives us even Harinam Diksha. We chant attentively, we get Harinam. We start reading, hearing more and more. So all these things, all these activities help us to focus our mind completely on the Lord. So this is how we can remember the Lord. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
how like one of the kind of liberation is getting the same opulences as God.
Yeah.
Lord has unlimited opulence.
Yes.
Then how we can liberated personalities also have unlimited personality.
At least in that particular, actually, Lord is having unlimited opulence that covers the entire thing. The spiritual world, material world, everything. Same opulence means like in that particular planet, Lord may have some opulences. That opulences will be same, but not the complete opulences. Like the living entity cannot become the in charge of the material world also. That is under Krishna's supervision only. Only thing, uh, the like same planet we are talking about like in Vaikuntha. You know how many Vaikuntha lokas are there? 24. Anyone knows how many Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual world? Innumerable. You can't count also. What to speak of 24? You can't even count the number of spiritual Vaikuntha planets. So if you go to one Vaikuntha planet, you get opulence of, and there is one, suppose one Lord is there in that Vaikuntha planet. So you get opulences equal to that Lord. but the Supreme Lord Krishna is there. So, and there are so many different universes. So you may get opulences of that particular universe, but not the other that particular Vaikuntha Loka, but not the other Vaikuntha Lokas or the entire manifestation. That remains with Krishna only. So yeah, that's the thing.
In one sloka, Prabhupada is saying that like due to even more purified love of rupees. Prabhuji, as all the personal associates of Lord are already liberated.
Yeah.
Why means they are also purified and we cannot complain of them because they are purified, they are already there in association of Lord. So how we can say that they are more purified? Like
who?
Even more purified love for Krishna. Like Prabhupada said that once to any class for gopis. They were able to get the similar strength of Krishna.
Correct.
As Arjuna did not get. So bro, Arjuna is also liberated personality and he's purified, that is why he is liberated.
Yeah.
How we can say bro, even more purified than if we are
Everybody is purified, but what happens is the intimacy level is different with different devotees. Some Krishna is very intimate, like Madhurya Ras. Somewhere Krishna is become a son only. They are mother father. Some Krishna is like friend. Some Dasya means he doesn't even come. He is very awe and reverence. He looks at the Lord. Sakiras means you are very more intimate. You are keeping hand on the shoulder of the Lord. So in that way, everyone is purified, but different level of intimacy. So as you go higher and higher, topmost devotee he gets even more close association of the Lord. All are liberated, but their rasas are different with the Lord, each of them. In that way, the purification is mentioned. So in our terms, we say more and more purified, and there will be some level we are completely purified like that. But even in that level, there can be levels, more levels, even in the purified stage. So yeah, so that's how Arjuna and they are in that particular stages. Okay. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.